Hey, guys, this is your boy Nico, your host of the Small Axe Podcast. Hey, this show is dedicated to helping you become the best multifamily real estate investor that you can be. Now, whether you want to be an active or a passive investor, this show will give you all the resources you need to help sharpen your axe and build your own personal empire. So you know what? Sit back and relax and enjoy this show. And hey, if you find value in it, I would love for you to subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, and write a review. I love you guys. Hey, Small Axe people, it's your boy Nico here, and I'm back. I'm hanging out with Michael Sanchez. This is the fourth and final interview for the year. Really excited to finally catch up with him again after a couple of months. He's always up to some cool stuff, and I'm excited to get to know what he's working on for the future, and just humbled to be able to speak with him again. Love this dude. Michael, welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Nico, man. It's been just a great year, right? Great year, and excited to talk to you about it because even thinking about doing the last one just makes you retroflect on the year as a whole, right? And everything that we've gone through to get here. So it's awesome. Excited to be here.
Cool, man. All right, so let's do some things. We're going to catch people up. We'll talk about the future, and then we'll talk about some lessons and stuff like that that we've learned along the way. So catch people up to what you're working on over the past couple months.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. And I think it's been what we've been talking about all year, our adaptive reuse project that we're taking office space and turning it into the multifamily units. It was delayed throughout the year. We had some hurdles. We got over all of those, and now we're getting to the finish line. So by the end of January, we're going to be up and running with our first, 7 units, getting into the space, finally being able to operate those. And we did pick up that office that we talked about last time along the way, that we have 13 office tenants that we've been managing for the last 6 months or so, but we've learned a lot finally getting to the tail end of this project, and it worked. Everything that we set out to do looks like it's going to work. We'll get into a little bit of a refinance in a couple months and get some of our capital back, start going after the next project. So that's kind of catch everybody up to speed. The project we started out and intended to do, we're finishing up. So it's exciting stuff.
Wow, man. Congratulations, dude. That's awesome. And the 13 office space, are they like fully leased? And
Yes, we've been fully leased the entire time. We have some turnover coming up here now on this month, so we'll see how that does. But once we get through that turnover, we're also going to be trying to refinance that out and get some more capital back. Nothing's going to be as great as we expected at the beginning of the year with the rising interest rates, right? We're not going to be able to just pull everything out because numbers are completely different, but everything will still work out in our favor. So, it's been good.
well, yeah, I'll take that and run, man. Take it as a blessing. I mean,
Yeah.
this year has been crazy, and we talk about how crazy the interest rates have gone, and how quickly everything has changed, and what the outlook is, for the future. It seems somewhat bleak, but then if we take in account the history and like a history of interest rates, and we're still pretty below average, or right there, right at the average. So we're doing okay. It's not the end of the world, and you're able to still make deals work, make your deal work in your favor. I think it's a win, man.
Absolutely. And, it's the people that are saying it's bleak out there right now, we are not on that bandwagon at all. There is so much opportunity coming up with this new market cycle. We're just adapting the education that we are doing, focusing on more creative financing, more seller financing, things of this nature, kind of making our own path. But there's so much opportunity. But now we just have a better grasp of what we need to underwrite to so we don't get bit. So definitely conservative on the interest rates and where it's headed. But to say there's not deals out there, no way. We're going full speed ahead and very excited about it.
Yeah, man, me too. I'm really excited. And I'm like thinking about other stuff to do as well. I'm just excited about the possibilities of what is coming down the pike and what kind of opportunities are going to be available. Just excited. All right. So I remember the last time we spoke, you were still working on the multifamily part, and you were working on, I believe, getting the designs approved, and you took control of it or something like that. Is that still the case?
Yes, we got the design completely approved. I don't know how many green tags we have of inspections that have passed already. We have all of our utility designs approved. We have the overall design approved, and now we're just, we're trucking along. We got cabinets installed in the space. We got granite coming. We got paint and flooring coming. we're just wrapping it up and getting ready to go. We'll do the certificate of occupancy here coming up real shortly. And so, those were the hurdles that we had with the design space. They delayed us about 4 months. They cost us money. There were a lot of stress, a lot of sleepless nights, but really, just a learning curve, learning process, something that's easily fixed on the next project by replacing some team members. And, now that we're getting to the tail end, we're still just real excited about our business model and about what we've learned, how we can apply it to the next one. And that's where we're at. And, looking at new projects that we've been looking the last 4 months, we've been looking to start taking down our next project and seeing some real interesting stuff. I've been working on a lot of different deals and trying to make some work.
Anything under contract?
Nothing under contract. There's one in particular that stands out that we've been, after all the underwriting, we were looking at a bank building in a very great location of Albuquerque. I was actually doing the analysis on that building right before we finished, but we've been working on that one back and forth for about 3 months. And there's things that are making the numbers not work, but it still seems to keep coming up and coming up. And there's a reason why we keep talking to the realtor, we keep talking to the seller. Nothing's dead until it's dead. So we've done tremendous amounts of construction analysis, of project management analysis, of all the debt underwriting, out of probably 50 different scenarios of underwriting on what we could turn this thing into as far as multifamily. And, there's still an opportunity there. I think we're getting ready to put it down, and finish our complete analysis, but we're still getting reached out from the seller. He really likes us. It might be a teaming situation, so it's just a really great location. We want to make sure we've looked at it from every angle before we put it to rest because the opportunity is there. There's some seller financing opportunity available there. There's some things that are coming up that make it really viable, but at the same time, construction costs are what they are. So we got to find something creative in that space to kind of save the deal. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Move on to the next one.
That's it. And how did you find this?
This one is actually on the MLS, right? On the MLS. And what we do, we look at it every couple months and see which properties are still hanging out there. And this is the office space that has went under contract 4 times. The last person that put him under contract stayed under contract for 10 months, continuing to ask for more extensions. Hey, we need more extension for due diligence, more extension for due diligence. And really what they're trying to do is ride this guy out until his balloon payment hits and make him lose his property and then pick it up afterwards is what I think they're trying to do, a little bit of unethical from our standpoint. And so we met with the seller and we just been very transparent and he's been very transparent. I mean, we have all of his information on when his balloon payment hits, what he owes left on it, what he tried to do with the property, what the other offers were, what he's willing to accept, what he's not willing to accept. I mean, we've just created such a great rapport, and even that has been a tremendous learning experience. The building is actually 70,000 square feet. So we're going from 7,000 to 70,000 square feet, looking to try to do 60 units on the top 5 floors, and then keep the bank and other office spaces on the first floor, and then turn the basement into amenities like a gym, like a workout room, and then like a cyber cafe, little lobby area, and some mailboxes and stuff like that. So, I mean, we even met with the architect who tried to bring this project to life a couple years back. He was very open. I mean, just the experience and the overall process of this whole part was worth it. Even if we don't get anything out of it, the learning curve has been amazing. We're on the map with some very big realtors now that believe in what we're doing because they've seen the effort we've put. We're on the map with the seller who has other properties, and we're on the map with the architect who does this, who's better than our previous architect. So it's just a win-win-win all around, whether this goes forward or not.
Amazing, man. Are people like approaching you on the block that you have the current property with the offices and the multi that you're putting together? Are people approaching you?
Yes, yes. We have people that are interested to know what we're doing. We kept it under wraps for so long. The way we did it, we wanted to look like nothing was going on in there for as long as we could. And then all of a sudden, whenever, we got the fully approved design and then people started seeing, hey, they're doing stuff, they're moving fast. They're really there. We got people approaching us. We did have a couple of realtors reach out and they wanted to know what we thought it was. They ran some pro formas on for us, and they've been asking every couple of weeks if we're interested in seeing what people would like to offer us on it. And so there is a possibility, if the cards align, that maybe we sell, but we're really trying to hold on to it. But it looks like we can make anywhere from $800,000 to $1 million on the profit if we were to sell it. And that's enticing just to be able to put that into larger projects, that we'd be going after. But the overall goal is to hold it. So we're really trying to do that. But if we need to sell it and move on to the next thing as well, right? So
Wow, man. Cool. And so when back to that bank deal, it's really cool, man. Really interesting. And I think that you nailed down some really key points about this whole process of what we go through. And it's arduous, it's long, it's extensive, it's a lot of work. We put a lot of time, energy, and focus into these deals. And then a lot of times they fall through. Most of the time they fall through or they don't come to fruition. But we learn so much along the way. And I think that your attitude about all of this and just taking it as learning experiences is really just the way to go, man.
Oh yeah, we love it, and even it was just validation for my wife and I. We're sitting with these huge real estate moguls, that wouldn't have picked up the phone for us a few months ago. And they, after that deal, we have two other off-market deals that they've sent to us because they said, we know these ones didn't work, but we liked the way that you guys analyzed it. We like the team that you brought. We know and we trust that you guys could close some things. So they brought us two other off-market deals. We still have to start doing analysis on that. So now that put us on the map. I mean, so just that alone is worth it. But even after the fact that we're pretty sure we're not going after it, the analysis package that I'm putting together is for the seller. We may not get this, and I have all this information that we've compiled. I'm putting it together on a very extensive approach on how he could do this building on his own, just to add value. Add value where you can, give back to everybody that you can, and it'll all work out. And it's already showing that. I mean, so even though that might be even more, some would call wasted time, we're putting the effort into it just to give back to all those and add value anywhere we can. So
Beautiful, man. So you mentioned a couple of years ago that just to talk about this other project a little bit more. A couple of years
yeah,
ago, there was an architect that had kind of rendered some designs or whatever. Was that for multifamily as well? And was the whole goal to transfer or to switch the use of that property?
yes, what they had tried to do, the seller's daughter is in the multifamily space and she's in corporate rental space. She's really big with the Netflix studios, movie film studios over here. So she had come up with a concept where she was trying to do living space on the top, and then she was going to rent out to the film editing crews on the bottom, and then she was going to build a big deck on the top to try to do like film premieres and stuff. So basically, she was trying to do everything from the editing to the premiere of the film in one building and have all the people live there and pay some really extensive pricing for that building to live there in the same space. It was a really cool concept, but at the end of the day, it was just, two-bedroom and one-bedroom apartments that she was building on those. So the concept had gone really far, and then she wasn't able to get funding right when COVID started. She thought she was going to get some backing, but I don't think her experience was as extensive in the underwriting of the multifamily side, but her vision was awesome and was a great starting point for us. So, we were able to talk to her. We were able to talk to the architect. Everybody was very, giving of their information. So we were able to get a real head start on the engineering side as well and do some better analysis. But it was awesome.
Cool, man. Interesting stuff. Every time I talk to you, I'm just curious and interested. I just want to get involved with what you're doing. So you're doing
Yeah.
great, man. I'm really excited. I really think you guys rock and roll. And my brother's actually in New Mexico right now.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, his girlfriend's from there. She grew up on like a pecan farm, really cool girl, and they go back every once in a while. So right now they're there for the holidays.
Oh, he's down south then, where the pecan farms are, Las
Exactly. Yeah.
Cruces area. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. All right. So what are your goals for, if you have any, for 2023? Like, what's your broader vision for your business in general? I know that you are considering still doing like buying some fix and flips or something to keep that business going as well. What are you looking at for 2023?
So for 2023, the main goals, the overarching goals is going to be mostly multifamily rated and adaptive reuse on what we're doing. So goal number one, finish this project out at the beginning of the year, refinance out as much as we can, get our capital back. But then overall, we want to do at least two more multifamily projects next year and one of them for sure complete with inside of next year. And then if the second one doesn't complete until 2024, that's fine. But we really want to have two projects going at the same time next year with the capital we get back from this first one. On the single family space, we really want to keep our fillers out there. We don't know exactly what that's going to turn into, but the opportunity is crazy. So I've put a goal for myself to transact at least 10 transactions. And I think a lot of them are going to be subject to things, and they're going to be some wraps that I think is going to be really creative stuff that we can do. And I think it creates some additional monthly revenue for us just to help us stay up with our heads above water, right? With full-time real estate, we need as much revenue coming in as we can, but I don't want to focus too much time on it, but I'm doing some time blocking now to where it says this much of my day will be dedicated to the single family space, and then the majority bulk of it will be a multifamily. But there's going to be so many opportunities in that single family space. We don't want to completely leave it. So I think we're going to do a lot of wraps on subject to properties is probably what my goal is, but I want to be involved in about at least 10 transactions, whether we wholesale them, wrap them, flip a couple, something like that. I think we have the capacity to do that now. So
What are wraps and subject to?
sure. Subject to financing is where we would take over somebody's mortgage that they have in place, and we can do that. So we're not interested in any of the new financing at 7%. None of our deals work. But anybody that bought something in the last 4 years is anywhere from 2 to 4% mortgage rates right now. So we don't want to use the interest that's currently out there. We want to create our own interest rates by taking over their mortgages. So we would subject to, which means we would take over their mortgage at 2.5 to 3.5%. And then we would just resell the house on the market as a seller finance package. We would wrap that 3.5%, sell it at 5.5% because everybody could only get a 7% on the market. So we would be a very sought after product if we sold it. So we're looking at buying houses that are already complete, wrapping a 3.5% mortgage to a 5% and just taking the difference, right? And then we wouldn't be a landlord in that scenario. We wouldn't be doing anything, but we would be getting that difference just on the wrap. And we wouldn't be responsible for the property, for the debt, for the landlording. We would just be adding monthly revenue. And that's kind of what we're going after on that one. And I think with the interest rates being so high that no one could afford to buy these houses. And when you know these creative finance methods, you'll dominate. I mean, I seen it. I see stuff all the time that, like I said, I got a time block out just to make sure we capture some of these because if not, multifamily will take over everything.
Cool, man. All right, Michael, a couple of questions regarding this podcast series. So, like when you began this series in the beginning of 2022, what were your like expectations for this podcast series? You knew we were going to do 4 recordings. How were your feelings of it then compared to now?
I remember being, whenever you posted it on the Facebook, whoever's interested in doing this, I felt it was more of a to push me outside of my comfort zone and to use something to be accountable. I didn't want to be on the podcast and not keep up with my education and not know what I'm talking about, right? At the beginning of the year, I was very concerned that maybe I'm not knowledgeable to be talking on a multifamily podcast, right? And I really need to be stepping it up in my education and go out of my comfort zone and be comfortable talking live or, for podcasts, which I had never done before. But now, after the amount that we've learned, I can talk multifamily all day with anybody, everybody at all times because, that's all we do. That's what we live. That's what we studied, and not just studied it on one platform, studied across many platforms. And the people we hang out with are real estate investors all the time. I mean, that's all we do. So now it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel anything. It just feels like talking a regular another day.
Awesome, man. Yeah, you guys are killing it, you and Vanessa, and you've grown so much, man. I can't just really amazed at what you've been able to do. Now, I haven't decided yet whether or not I'm going to do another accountability series for 2023. I did one in 2021, 2022. I don't know 100% if I'm going to do it in 2023, but if I do, what could you tell people to expect who are considering joining like you did it?
I would say expect to share everything that you're going through. And it's one of the things that helped us so much. We listened to your previous accountability and then the other people that are doing it at the same time as us. And it's just so much validation to hear people starting and going through their entire year of what they're experiencing. So I would say expect to, divulge the good, the bad, the ugly, everything that's going on, and really, expect to help people out on their journey and what they're listening to. But also expect to make some friends and to learn a lot and do those things. And it's been a really great experience. Really, really loved it.
Cool, man. It's not really for everybody. And some people, like everybody who did it, right, are holding themselves accountable. And it's like, because every few months, it's like, you're going to have to talk to somebody on camera about it, right? It's like, well, if you're not doing something, then you're just going to hide under a rock or something. But there's no hiding, and you guys are crushing it. Michael, I want to say thank you so much for allowing me to participate in your journey this year. And I know that you and I will continue talking, and I'm excited for that. Like I said, I'm really excited every time I speak with you just to know what you're working on. I learn so much from you. Really incredible, your story. And I cannot imagine what you and your family are going to be doing in 10 years from now. It's just going to be incredible. So thank you so much.
And I want to say thank you, Nico, for the opportunity. It's been just a great experience. I can't express how much I enjoyed it, how much I learned from it, and the accountability portion really did help continue to push us, to the next level. It was just another tool for us to have to continue to push us and continue to hold ourselves accountable. So thank you so much. It's been an awesome experience.
Cool, man. All right, let's get the listeners some form of contacting you.
Sure. The best way to contact me is going to be my email address, Michael, Michael at mtinn.com. That stands for management. That is New Mexico.com. That's our company. We would love to hear from you. That's the best way to get a hold of me. We're always checking the emails, always responding, and we love networking. We love learning. We love adding value. That's when I say we, that's my wife and I. We love talking to everybody. So please reach out at any time, and we would love to connect.
All right, awesome, man. And happy holidays to you. Happy New Year. And I will be chatting with you soon.
All right. Sounds good, Nico.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, Small Axe community. I would like to say thank you for listening to another episode of this podcast where we show you how to use your small axe to build a lasting empire. Now, if you like what you heard, it would mean the world to me if you could leave me a 5-star rating and write a written review. Hey, let's take it one step further and share this podcast with someone that you feel could benefit from it. And until the next episode, keep sharpening those axes.